Hey guys, it's time now to do an unboxing for the new HG Freedom Gundam Revive version. So here we can see noted in this corner, this is the Gunpla 35th Anniversary Revive. So I wonder if the Revive series is going to be continued. Well, I guess we have the announcement of the Cubile and the Mark II Titans version, so I guess they're going to have to continue into next year, but then it won't be the 35th anniversary anymore, so maybe they're going to omit that logo, or they're going to keep it as long as they're doing the Revive line. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, this kit was, as always, provided by MindFenix Hobby Store, so big thank you to them. They're awesome guys. Please go check them out, especially if you're living in Australia, as that's where they're shipping now for the time being. So thank you, as always, to them. They're awesome. Anyway, this kit is brand new. It is the third kit in the Revive line after the Gun Cannon and the RX-78-2 Gundam, both of which left me very, very pleasantly surprised. I was really impressed with the Gun Cannon. I was really blown away by the Gundam. Loved that kit. This one hasn't really gotten me too excited what I've seen about it so far. But from my experience with the Revive line so far, I'm expecting that I'm going to be very, very pleasantly surprised with this kit as well once I've actually got it all built together. I've built the RG, I built it and then it's kind of like halfway under construction of doing some customizing sort of to it. So that's kind of one work in progress that's just been sitting around for a long time. Maybe after this I'll finally go back and finish my RG Freedom and then I'll show it to you guys at that time. But let's just go ahead and focus on this one for now, and I'll show you around the outside of the box. First, as always, here on the side we can see this is HG Cosmic Era from seed number 192 in that line. 192 from HG Cosmic Era? That's pretty crazy. Is that right? No way, that must be 192 just in the HG line, but I thought that was only counting just HGUC. I didn't really realize that that number was also counting up for non-UC HG kits. That's kind of interesting. I wonder how long I didn't notice that. And why are the Build Fighters kits having their own separate numbering system? Kind of weird. I don't know. Anyway, and then here we can see on the bottom we've got some stuff about this, once again being a 35th anniversary kit, and then just some front and back view of the Freedom Gundam. Freedom Gundam admittedly is not one of my more favorite designs, but I do like it, and once again I think although the design is not really one of my favorites, I think this kit is going to leave me very impressed in the end. I have faith in the Revive technology that it's going to be very, very impressive. So here we can see a bit about the gimmicks, the waistband, the knees, the legs, the arms, all of that. The weapons are going to be pretty standard. The beam rifle, shield, 2 beam sabers that are of course going to be able to be connected to make a double-ended beam saber. Around on the back, just some information. Here is where we usually see just the front and back pictures, but those we saw on the other side. So here we've just got some information, statistics on the kit, height, weight, armaments, all of that. And then here is just a CG image with it cutting the head off of a Jin. And then our price is going to be 1,800 yen, so this is definitely the most expensive of the Revive kits so far, but I mean obviously compared to the Gun Cannon and the Gundam, there's a lot more stuff going on with this kit with that huge backpack, wings, and all of the railguns and all of that. So here is the first bag. It has our beam effect parts, stickers, quite a few stickers in there. It looks like mostly lining, looks like probably on the rifle and some of the weapons. Then here's our wings all there. I know some of you are cringing right away because you just hate those wings, but I personally don't really mind them. I mean, whatever. Then here's the second bag with some more different color parts in light blue, darker blue or gray there, and then some white. Bag number 3 is a small little bag there with some yellow, red, and gray parts. And then finally bag number 4 has our polycaps, one clear yellow part, looks like probably for the eyes, and then some more white there. And let's go ahead now and take a look at the manual. So now I'm starting to see why it is being counted in the numbering system of the HGUC line. As we can see, this manual is a very HGUC style manual. So I don't know if I've built any other seed SD kits, not SD, but HG kits. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever built an HG kit from the seed line, so I don't know if the other HG kits in the line are following this same kind of format for the manual. Let me know guys if you know in the comments below, or just when I'm through filming this I'll go check that along. But Anyway, we can see here's that same information we saw on the outside of the box, now repeated, so some pretty cool information there about the armaments, of course, and the general output unknown, thruster total propulsion unknown. Kind of a cheap technique there from Bandai to just be able to say that they just don't really know. Not Bandai, but Sunrise, I guess, would be the people who would decide that information. Anyway, here on the back we can see there's an action pose, looking very action-y. I understand why people hate on the wings as being sort of impractical for Gundams that have huge, like, ridiculous wings like that. Personally, the whole idea of giant mobile suits in general is kind of impractical, so just putting wings on it doesn't really bother me too much. That's just my personal opinion though. Here's our gimmick about being able to hold the railguns there. Looks like that gimmick should work pretty well. And then here's our color guide with that same image that we saw on the outside of the box before. Colors are going to be pretty standard, mostly just blue, red, yellow, white, gray. Pretty standard Gundam colors. We do have a lighter color of gray, a lighter color of blue there as well. On the inside we do have some more information about the Freedom Gundam, it looks like. Some different things about the weapons. It looks like that is about the guns in the head, the Vulcans in the head there. I'm assuming that will have to be painted, and that's not going to be an actual plastic part. It would be nice if that was just gray plastic poking out of the head, but I'm not expecting that in an HG anyway. Here's our color page, so we'll come back to that. Let's go ahead and get into the parts list. This looks like a fairly long manual here. I kind of wish that it was just a stapled booklet and not a fold out, but what can we do, right? It's a brand new kit, so as to be expected, I don't see any X's here on the manual. Even the polycaps, we're going to be using all of those. So nothing there in the parts list that is going to be wasted. That's good. Here, starting with the construction, very Revive style constructions. Looking here, as we've got like this picture at the start for the body, with just that part, that segment highlighted there. So we got the body, very simple. The head, again, very simple. We got different options for the stickers for the eyes, looks like. That should be cool. Shoulders, arms, all of that moving along pretty simple there. I think we're going to be spending a lot more time on the backpack, most likely. Feet, legs, putting the body all together. That was pretty quick, but then here we get onto the railguns on the waist, side skirts there. So a whole page of construction for those, then starting onto the cannons on the backpack and putting the wings together on the backpack there. Again, not sure about my terminology of which are railguns and which are beam cannons. I'll have to check again later before I do the review, so I don't have too many of you guys shouting at me about what is the correct terminology for those. I can definitely be a stickler for that when other people get it wrong, so totally understand, but I'll try to do my best. Can't know everything about every Gundam, I suppose. Here's the backpack, and finishing that up, then moving on to the weapons, putting those together. The construction of the shield looks quite nice there. I like that look of that white piece, looks pretty good. And then just how to open up the wings and fold the cannons forward. If you couldn't figure that out on your own, I think you'd probably be in trouble. So that is it for the manual. Let's go ahead and take a closer look now at the runners. Starting off with the stickers, as always, we can see we've got a few different light blue stickers there. Looks like probably for cameras on the head. These blue and red trim details I think are going to be going on the cannons and the weapons. The blue one I think going on the beam rifle, I believe. Here for the eyes, interestingly, this looks very similar to the RX-78 Revive Gundam, where we had options to stick these just kind of just silver chrome behind the eyes and then paint the eyes just so there's some nice depth there, or you can just stick the standard sticker just straight over the top of the clear piece if you want, but I think definitely the better option is going to be going for using this chrome behind the eyes than just using some panel liner or black paint on the clear part, and then you can have some really nice depth there in with your eyes. Then again, nothing new here. PC002 seems to be the very, very standard polycap runner here that we're getting for all of the HGs. It's the 2015 official HG polycap runner. And then we have SB13 for our beam sabers. This is beam sabers from 2013, so not too new, but definitely some nice looking beam sabers here. Runner A1 is in this light blue color, and it's going to be making up some parts for the cannon, and most of that basically just a part for around the neck, and then some chest vents there. Let's take a closer look at the marking, as I believe most of these runners are going to be having this same marking where it just says HGCE 1144 Freedom Gundam. So I don't know what it says on the runners for just the previous HG Freedom Gundam, but I'm guessing maybe it just says like HG Freedom Gundam. It doesn't say HGCE 1144. So I don't know, kind of interesting about these Revive kits, how they have to change the name on there because they're using a different mold now, obviously. Then we have runner A2, which as we can see was previously fit to here. But now the A2 runner is in red with just some more smaller parts there. We can see is the part for the red under the eyes and the chin piece, as well as a few other red details there. Runner B1 is a very large runner here with all of our white parts, but not quite all of them, as we do have a runner B2 as well, which is going to be copied of this half of that runner. You can see we've got all of our white parts basically for all the armor, the cannons, the head here on this section, obviously our shield there, and everything's looking very nice. Runner C is going to be our just straight blue color. These are obviously our parts for the wings, the feet, and the middle stomach torso section there. Again, the parts look nice. The nubs on the wings don't look too bad, so just get yourself a good sanding stick and you should have no trouble there. Then we have runner D in this very dark blue, so it's definitely not black or very dark gray. It's definitely a very, very dark navy blue. We can see our parts there for the wings as well as the shield and torso, with some very nice detail on those parts, even inside the vents. You can see there's some nice detail in there, so pretty good. Runner E1 is going to be our sort of joint parts there. We can see as our parts for the beam rifle as well, but most of this is going to be our joint parts. If you'll notice this empty space here, one part did come off the runner, so as always, be careful when you're pulling your runners out of the plastic bags. Check to make sure the bag's empty before you throw those away. Don't get too excited. We also have a runner E2, which is going to be a copy of this middle section here for probably the joints in the arms and legs where we need doubles. Almost done now, as we have an F1, which is just one clear yellow piece there for inside the eyes, and then also have an F2, which is just one singular yellow piece there for the V-fin. The V-fin does have flags on there, but as always, just in case I forget to mention that in the review, I will be cutting those off and sanding those flags down to make the V-fin sharp again. It's a very simple procedure. I don't really need to show it to you guys on camera, but I've showed it to you in a video before, the Gunpla building video when I built the Yakutoga. You basically just cut it and then just sand it very, very carefully with a sanding stick or something that is very rigid. So I gotta say, despite initial doubts, I'm already feeling very, very good about this newest addition to the Revive line. It looks like it is not going to disappoint me at all, so very much looking forward to getting this together and seeing how it all works. The only really thing I'm really nervous about at this point is just weight issues with the wings and all of that. It's a lot of stuff to hold up. It's obviously going to be very back heavy, so I'm not really expecting the kit to be able to stand on its own without an action base, but hey, if it can, I'm going to be very, very pleasantly surprised again. So we'll just have to see in the review. Next, we'll have the quick look and then coming up with the review shortly. If you guys have any other questions or comments, leave those below. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.